Alright, so this is y'all's assignment for today. Uh, there's going to be a few drawings of angles, and if you look at the instructions, it says draw an angle with the given measure in standard position. So if the given angle is not between 0 to 360, then you're going to need to put it in between 0 to 360. You're going to have to find that coterminal angle that's between 0 to 360, which is going to make your drawing a lot easier. Okay, I don't care about you using a protractor. I just want your drawing to be in the correct quadrant. So for example, 280, okay, that's already in standard position, so we're good. So 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. 280 is going to be between 270 and 360. So if I want to draw that angle, I'm just going to put it in quadrant 4. Okay. And just to give the drawing, I'll also put that on there. Okay, just to show that it's 280 in the positive direction. Now for number 2, for example, this ain't ready for you to graph yet. You need to find a coterminal angle. So this is negative 660. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because it's negative, I'm going to add 360. So if I add 360 to that, we end up with negative 300, right? And that's still not something that's in standard position. It's still not between 0 to 360 because that's negative 300. So all I got to do is add, I'm going to put an arrow here, even though those are technically equal. Add 360 again. And if you add 360 again, you end up with 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is coterminal to negative 660. But 60 degrees is really easy for you to draw because you know that it's sorry about that. That broke anybody's earbuds. 60 degrees is just going to be between 0 and 90. So you know that 60 degrees is right there. Okay. And that's all you're doing for the rest of these. So you've got to change them. So for example, 3 and 4, you've got to change those to be standard position. So you got to change those to be angles that are from 0 to 360. 0 to positive 360. Number 5, you should be able to just graph straight up because that's already going to be in standard position. On the next questions you have would ask for find the measure of each angle. So you're just going to use the picture, nothing too crazy. So if we look at the first one, kind of want to zoom in on this. I don't think I can though. It's probably gonna come out real crappy. That's fine. I'm not gonna zoom in. Okay. So either way, just first start off by looking at how many rotations you got. So you got in the negative direction, that's 1 and 2. So that's up to this point right here. You've done 2 rotations in the negative direction. So that's negative 720 already, just off of these first 2 rotations. So you know for sure you've got negative 720. Okay. Then we've got negative 90, right? So just plus, I guess you could say negative 90. And then that last little piece is 20 degrees, also in the negative direction, so plus negative 20. So if you add all those up, that's going to give you what angle is being represented here, right? Which is a pretty big negative one because you've got 2 whole rotations, which is negative 720, right? Because negative 360 plus negative 360 plus 90 plus 20. And all you got to do is add those up. That's going to give you a very large number, which is, I'm going to try to do this in my head. That's going to be negative 830, I believe. Pretty sure. Yeah, sounds right. Okay, so this is represented negative 830. Now you do got to be careful. Some of these are different. So for example, like number 7, you're going to have to use a little bit more reasoning because you know this is 180, but you're not sure what this piece is. You know that it's 25 is the the missing link here. So what would be easier, instead of trying to figure out what this is, you know that 270 is all the way through here, right? 270 is that whole angle, right? 0, 90, 180, 270. And so basically the angle you're looking for is almost to 270, but 25 degrees short. So the easiest way to find this one is to do 270 minus 25, or plus negative 25, or whatever you want to call it. And that's going to be 245, which is still going to be in quadrant 3. So this angle right here, this angle in the red, is 245 degrees. So that's all you're doing there. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. That's all you're doing there. On the back, let's see what else we got. You got a couple where they ask you what quadrant this is in. So you can kind of just, if you want, draw like a 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360. So for the positive ones, you could just basically look like, 13, for example, 203. That's going to be here between 180 and 270. So 203, this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, 3, 4. 203 is going to be in quadrant 3. Okay. That's terrible. Quadrant 3. Okay. And then you could draw another one of these, just, opposite with the negative. So you could do 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, negative 260 for the negative one to see what quadrant it's in. For the coterminal between 0 to 360, that's just asking for you to do standard position, similar to what you did at the beginning. So this one's way too big, right? So, for example, since it's such a big positive and you want it to be between 0 and 360, just subtract 360 until you get between 0 and 360. So if we subtract 360 from 626, that's going to give us 266, which is between 0 to 360. So that's good. That's what we're looking for. That's kind of what you're doing for all of these. Looks like all of these are too big, so you're going to subtract 360 to make it fit. You might have to do it more than once for some of these really big ones. Finding a positive and negative coterminal angle for each given angle. That will be a little different. So to find a positive and negative coterminal angle, all you want to do is, like for 50, for example, to find a positive, I'm going to just add 360 to find a positive, and then I'll subtract 360 to find a negative. Okay, but that might not be the case for all of these. Okay, but for the most part, if you add 360, you'll find a positive one, and if you subtract 360, you'll find a negative one. Actually, that looks like it'll work for all of these. So I'll just do this one. So if I add 360 to 50, that's going to be 3, 7, no, sorry, 3, no, whoa. If you add 360 to 50, that's 410. So 410 is a coterminal positive angle. If I subtract 360, that's going to give me negative 310. So all three of these angles are coterminal. They're all the same. Okay, but I'm just trying to find a positive and a negative one. And then the last part asks for you to check if the angles are coterminal. So the easiest way to do that is to take one. So for example, if I start with 100, I can see if I can add or subtract 360 and somehow end up with negative 260. So obviously, since this is a negative number, I'm going to do 100 minus 360, and that's going to give me negative 260, which is this value. So for number 27, my answer would be yes. Okay. And you're just going to check the rest of them using that. So you either, so here 25, you're going to subtract 360, see if it ends up with negative 385. You might have to do it twice, but again, some of these will be, some of these won't be. It's up to you to check. So for like 26, you're going to add 360. And if 325 plus 360 equals 685, then you're good. Those are coterminal. All right, guys. Sucks I had to be out of class today, but hopefully this wasn't too terrible. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Peace.